Hello everyone, welcome to today's Excel tutorial where we are talking about one of the most powerful tools in Excel, which is functions. Functions in Excel can help you calculate, analyze, and transform data in ways that can save you time and effort. Whether you're adding numbers, calculating averages, or even looking up values, function can help your job much easier. So, what exactly is a function in Excel? Functions is a built-in formula that performs specific calculation using your data. Function takes input and returns a result. There are hundreds of functions in Excel, but today we are going to start with a few of the basics. First, we are going to explore the if functions and some of the Excel logical functions like and or not. These functions are essential tools for anyone looking to make the dynamic decision within their spreadsheets. Let's start with the if functions. This function lets you create a simple if-then statement in Excel. If a condition is true, Excel does one task. If it is false, it does something else. Let's start our first example of using an if function. The if function checks whether a condition is met and returns one value if true and another value if false. In this example, if the price is greater than 500, the if function returns high, else it returns low. You can use several comparison operators: equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and not equal to. To enter the formula, select cell B3. And then you need to start your formula with an equal sign, equal, if, hit the tab. Then you can write your conditions. Select A3 greater than 500, comma. Here is the return value if the condition is true, which is high. Comma. A return value if the condition is false, which is low. Complete your formula. Hit Ctrl Enter. You can see that the result is high because the price 910 is greater than 500. Now you can copy this formula by dragging down the fill handle. Here is the second example of the if functions. In this example, the if functions want to compare whether the country is USA. If true, it returns 5, else it returns 0. Also, if you want to compare the cells to text, you need to put the text in double quotes. To enter the formula, select cell B3, start with an equal sign, if, hit the tab. Here is your condition. Select cell A3, equal. Now you can type USA in the double quote, comma. The return value if the country is USA, which is 5, comma. And the return value if the condition is false, 0. Complete your formula. Hit Ctrl Enter. The result is 0 because the country is not USA, the country is UK. Again, you can copy this formula by dragging down the fill handle. Here is the third example. It is to show you how to use the not equal to operator. In this example, the if function calculates the progress between the start and end value if the end value is not empty. Otherwise, it displays an empty string. To enter the formula, select cell C3, type equal sign, if, hit the tab. The condition is to check whether the end value is not empty. Select the end value, cell B3. Use the less than and greater than symbol together, empty string, comma. The return value if the condition is true, which is the progress, B3 minus A3, comma. The return value if the condition is false, which is an empty string. Close the parenthesis, hit Control Enter. You can see that the result is 116 because the end values 141 is not empty. You can copy this formula by selecting this cell and drag down the fill handle. It's perfect for tasks like marking grade as pass or fail, checking stock level, or applying different discount based on quantity. We can use the if functions in combination with the and functions and the or functions. In this example, I will show you how to use the and functions with the if functions. The and functions returns true if the first score is greater than or equal to 60 and the second score is greater than or equal to 90. Else, it returns false. If the and function is true, the if will return the pass message. If the and function is false, the if will return the fail message. To enter the formula, select cell D3, type equal sign, if, tab, and tab. The first condition is that the first score is greater than or equal to 60. And the second score is greater than or equal to 90. Close the and function, comma. If the and function is true, the pass message is returned. If the and function is false, the if will return the fail message. Close the if function. Hit Control Enter. As you can see, the result is pass because the first score 60 is greater than or equal to 60 and the second score 91 is also greater than or equal to 90. If you want to copy this formula, select this cell. Drag the fill handle down below. In this example, we show how to use the OR with the if functions. The OR functions return true if at least one score is greater than or equal to 60. Else, it returns false. If the result of the OR function is true, the pass message is returned. If false, the if functions return the fail message. Select cell D3, enter equal sign, if, tab, or tab. The first condition is the first score is greater than or equal to 60, comma, or the second score is greater than or equal to 60. Close the OR function, comma. If the OR function is true, the pass message is returned. If the OR function is false, the failed message is returned. Close the if function. Hit Ctrl Enter. The result is pass. You can copy this formula by selecting these cells and drag down the field handle. In this example, we will show you how to use the OR and functions together with the if functions. The AND functions require two arguments. The first argument is to check whether the product is a table. The second argument is to check whether the color is either green or blue. The AND functions return true if the product is the table and the color is either green or blue. If the AND function is true, the if function will reduce the price by 50%. If the AND function is false, the if function will reduce the price by 10%. To enter the formula, select cells D3, type =, IF, tab, AND, tab. The first condition is to check whether the product is a table. Equal table, comma. The second condition is an OR function, OR, tab. The first condition of the OR function is whether the color is green or the color is blue. We close the OR functions. We close the AND functions, comma. If the AND function is true, the if function reduce the price by 50% times 0.5 times 0.5. If the AND function is false, the if function reduce the price by 10%, price times 0.9. Close the if function. Hit Ctrl Enter. Now the result is 450. You can copy this formula by dragging the field handle down. How do you double check that your formula is correct? In this example, I will show you how to use this feature. Select Formula. Select Evaluate Formula. Your formula is written here, and the underlying expression will be evaluated if you click Evaluate. So A3 is Evaluate. A3 is chair, so chair is not equal to table, so this is false. B3 is blue. Blue is not equal to green, so this is false. B3 is blue. Blue is equal to blue, so you get true. So now you have OR with false and true. The result is true. And now you have AND with false and true. So the result is false. When the if condition is false, the price will be reduced by 10%. C3 is the price, 500. So we have 500 times 0.9. We get 450. And then when we evaluate for the last time, the result is 450. We can click close. So you can see that the formula is correct. In this example, I will show you how to use the not functions. The not function changes true to false and false to true. First, we will use the OR function to test if at least one score is greater than or equal to 60. Then the not function will reverse the result of the OR functions. To enter the formula, select cell D3. Type =, type NOT, hit the tab. Type OR, hit the tab. The first logical argument to the OR function is score 1 is greater than or equal to 60. The second logical argument is score 2 is greater than or equal to 60. Close the OR function, close the NOT function, hit Control Enter. You see that the result is false. This is because both score 1 and score 2 are greater than or equal to 60. So the result of the OR function is true. Then the NOT function changes from true to false. You can copy this formula by dragging down the fill handle. So to double check your formula, click this cell. Select Formula. Select Evaluate Formula. The formula is written here in this box. BT is evaluated. B3 is 60. 60 is greater than or equal to 60, so this is true. C3 is the second score, which is 91. 91 is greater than or equal to 60, so this is also true. Now you have all true and true, so the result is true. Then the NOT function will change true to false. So the final result is false. You can click close. So you see that your formula is correct. Now we are exploring two useful functions to help you calculate the totals more effectively in Excel: sum and SUMIF. The sum function is one of the most basic and widely used functions in Excel. It allows you to add up a range of values quickly. You can use the sum function to sum a range of cells, an entire column, or non-contiguous cells. In this example, we will sum a range A1 to A8. To enter the formula, select cell D2, type =, SUM, hit the tab. Select the first cell in the range, A1, hold the Shift key, and select the last cell in this range, A8. So now you have a range A1 to A8. Hit Control Enter to complete the formula. The result is 129. We will show you how to sum over the entire columns. But before we do that, let's sum the range A1 to A8. Select cell D2, type =, SUM, hit the tab. Select the first cell, A1, hold the Shift key, and select the last cell. So you now have a range from A1 to A8. Press Ctrl Enter to complete your formula. The result is 93. Now, you want to sum over the column A. Select cell D3. Type equal sign. SUM. Hit the tab. To highlight the entire column, move your mouse over this column letter. Click column A. Column A is highlighted. The syntax is A:A. Hit Ctrl Enter to complete your formula. The result is 103. It means that there should be more data down below in column A. So if you scroll down, there are two data in A99 and A100. That's why the result of this cell, 103, is greater than the sum of range from A1 to AA, 93. Now, you can sum over the row. Okay. To do this, select this cell, D7, type equal sign, SUM, hit the tab. To select the entire rows, move the mouse over the row number. Select row number 6. Row number 6 is highlighted. Complete your formula by pressing Ctrl Enter. The result is 55. For this example, you can also use the sum function in Excel to sum non-contiguous cells or ranges. Non-contiguous means that the cells are not next to each other. To do this, select cell D2, type equal sign, SUM, hit the tab. For the first argument, you highlight from A1 to A3, comma. For the second argument, you highlight from A5 to A6, comma. For the third argument, you select AA. You see that we highlight 3 non-contiguous blocks of data. So when you hit Ctrl Enter, the result is 68. So you have to use the SUMIF functions to sum cells based on numbers that meet some specific criteria. SUMIF requires 3 parameters. The first parameter is the criteria range. The second parameter is the criteria itself. And the third parameter is the sum range. The first example is to use the SUMIF with 2 arguments to sum values in the range B1 to B5 that are less than or equal to 10. To enter the formula, select cell BA. Type equal sign, SUM. You see, we can use the down arrow key to select SUMIF. Hit the tab. The first argument is the criteria range, which is B1 to B5, comma. The second argument is less than or equal to 10. We need to put this argument inside the double quote. And because the sum range and the criteria range are the same, so we don't need the third argument. Close your formula. Hit Ctrl Enter. The output is 21. Let's double check. Select B1. B1 is 10. 10 is less than or equal to 10. So B1, 10 should be included in the sum. 1 is less than or equal to 10, so 1 should be included. 7 is also less than or equal to 10, 7 is included. 20 is not included because 20 is greater than 10. 3 is included because 3 is less than or equal to 10. So we have 10, 11, 18, 21. So the output is correct. The final result is 21. The second example is to use the sum if to sum values in range B1 to B5 when a value is less than or equal to the value of E1. To enter the formula, select cell B12, type equal sign, SUM, use the down arrow key to select sum if, hit the tab. The first argument is the criteria range, which is B1 to B5, comma. The second argument is less than or equal to the value of E1, less than or equal to. We are going to use the ampersand operator to join the less than or equal to symbol and the value in cell E1. And because the sum range and the criteria range are the same, so we don't need the third argument. Close our formula, hit Ctrl Enter. The output is 11. Let's double check. Select B1. B1 is 10. 10 is not less than or equal to 8. So 10 is not included in the sum. 1 is less than or equal to 8, so 1 is included in the sum. 7 is less than or equal to 8, so 7 should be included. 20 is not included because 20 is greater than 8. 3 is included because 3 is less than or equal to 8. So we have 1, 8, and 11. So the output is 11. The final result is correct. To sum values in range B1 to B5, if the corresponding cells in range A1 to A5 contains the value of 25. To enter the formula, select cell B16, type equal sign, SUM, use the down arrow key to select sum if, hit the tab. The first argument is the criteria range, which is A1 to A5. The second argument is the value 25, comma. The third argument, which is the sum range, is B1 to B5. Complete the formula. Hit Ctrl Enter. The output is 4. Let's double check. Select A1. A1 is 75. A1 is not 25. So B1 is not included. A2 is 25. So B2 will be included in the sum. A3 is 100, not 25. So B3 is not included. 50 is not 25. So 20 is not included. A5 is 25. So B5 should be included. So now we have 1 and 3 sum together. So the final result is 4. Our formula is correct. Now that you have a basic understanding of these common functions, let's experiment. Open Excel, try out these functions, and see how they can simplify your task. Thank you for joining me today on Excel Essentials. Stay tuned for our next lessons, where we will explore more advanced Excel techniques. Happy excelling!
THAI-NICHI International College Learning in a Beautiful Way